Yeah, very much looking forward to it. There's a few ways I think that you can think about what curation brings to the table for programmatic marketers. But I think one lens that might be interesting to view it through in simple terms is that what industry at the moment, what company is not trying to look at how it can leverage data and technology to drive like business growth. Data is typically to identify the opportunity, and the technology is typically to execute and deliver on that opportunity. What you generally will find is that you end up creating, fantastic models and ways of influencing in our industry, ways of influencing media that are far more effective when it can influence a whole range of different touch points, a whole range of different impressions, rather than being siloed into maybe only influencing one media owner or one network, if you get where I'm coming from. So they're more effective when you can almost let them loose on the open web, find opportunities, deliver on those opportunities across the open web. The challenge with the open web is that it is so vast, and there is risk. There is risk of exposure to not necessarily unbrand safe like inventory, because we do have a lot of capabilities that help protect us from that. But I would say ineffective inventory, let's say, and you can influence in touch points that you think are maybe doing one thing and think will give you the opportunity to deliver some sort of impact and influence, but in reality that they may be not. Fraudsters have always been particularly sophisticated, I think, in this space, and they've kept pace and maybe even been ahead of the pace of technology on the buy side. So what curation allows us to do, and what curation brings, I think, really is confidence. It brings confidence in the sense that that you can hopefully achieve scale, because the media that you've curated is still giving you the scale, or not quite at the open web, but still meaningful scale, but it gives you confidence that the touch points that you are influencing and that you're pointing your models at are going to give you the opportunity to actually execute on those opportunities and actually drive business outcomes effectively. So that's one way of looking at it in sort of simple terms, but I think that is the core advantage that curation brings. I think it's confidence in one word. I would probably just say that, and this is something that I might, we'll probably elaborate on when we get to the event itself. But I think having a full understanding of your supply chain has many advantages, really, and many benefits. And I think working closer with the supply side, which maybe we on the buy side, generally speaking, haven't done as much of before, I think there is more opportunities to create capabilities, create solutions that live in the supply side, that do bring value to the media buy, that you might not have been able to as easily replicate, let's say, on the demand side, especially if you're using multiple different demand side platforms, right? There's sometimes strategically great reasons to use one DSP over another, or you may be using multiple, again, because of different data capabilities, because of different product capabilities. So when you can point multiple different platforms at one supply source, then again, there are massive advantages to that. You can build audiences and you can have audiences that are pre-matched with media, for example. So you rely less on you rely less on bidding and having to go through that sort of same process multiple different times with multiple different supply sources. You can build creative capabilities within there. You can build bolt-on measurement capabilities. And again, you can do these things in the demand side, but there are advantages sometimes of also doing it in the supply side. So yeah, again, I'll look forward to unpacking some of those when we've got a little bit more time. But yeah, it's a great topic that I think is important to cover. I'm glad we're going to be covering it this year. I'm sure that this might be the same as many other people, but I think having the the sort of real-time legends of Jeff and Andrew sort of on stage, I think is something that I'm particularly excited about. I've only recently sort of met Andrew, and he seems to be an absolute top guy. You know, very, very intelligent, very experienced. And I haven't met Jeff, but you know, you can only sort of imagine the kind of thing that he'll bring to the stage and he'll bring to the table. So yeah, I think kudos to you guys for locking them in. I'll be really interested to hear from both of them. I would just say, yeah, generally, I think that you've put together a very sort of like, as you always do, sort of compelling schedule that really sort of taps into some of the most important things in the industry at the moment. So just generally looking forward to it. But yeah, specifically, I guess, to see those guys speak firsthand will be awesome.